Greetings and salutations. I'm joined this afternoon by Neil Reeves from Calpe Financial Solutions. Hello, Neil.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Oh, living the dream. You?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
So, without further ado, I will go all Paxman on you. I won't, honestly. Some questions. Question one: what would you have done differently if you'd been given, say, 2 months' notice of what was about to happen?
I think the key thing for us, Paul, would be, as a financial advisor firm, we would have probably de-risked some more of our clients if we had notice, which never happens. Obviously, you don't normally get notice when market crashes occur, but if you've got notice, then that would be great. You could de-risk and then potentially take advantage of, any upside as and when that happens, really. But we work quite closely with our clients on a regular basis, so from that perspective, a lot of our clients were already kind of taking a level of risk that's appropriate to their current circumstances, really. So, they're comfortable with that. And we've seen very little kind of activity in terms of phone calls from clients about, how the market has affected their portfolios at the moment, which is good news.
That is good news. Some people I know, including myself, had some interesting letters from their financial advisors just saying, don't worry. And that was like, when it told me I'd lost 10% of my pension, I was worried. When I got the letter the next week telling me I'd lost 20%, I was a bit concerned that it took that they were writing to me rather than actually picking up the phone. So
Yeah.
So question two, who or what has impressed you most during this period of lockdown?
I think the key thing for me has been where everyone's had to adapt to working from home and changing systems. I think what it's highlighted for us as a company is the partnerships we have with, lenders, providers, solicitors, where that's worked really, really well. But it's also highlighted, I think, some of those lenders and providers where perhaps they've not been as flexible or able to cope with the situation. So that's kind of the key thing from our perspective.
Yeah. What would you describe something you've enjoyed the most during this period of lockdown?
I think for me, it's just been. I'm sure it's been difficult for everybody, but I've found the most interesting thing is that it's just become quieter generally. Life just feels quieter, less hectic. People, I think, are being more cooperative, more accommodating of each other. So yeah, I just think it's a quieter life at the moment all round.
I used to judge, because I live on a main road, what day of the week it was, depending on how much traffic there was on the road outside. Well, there isn't that much traffic now, so I haven't got a clue what day of the week it is. No,
absolutely.
And what do you think the biggest challenge to the property market and the investment market that you're predominantly involved in will be? What will be the biggest change when this all ends and we return to some form of new normality?
Yeah, what does normality look like, I guess? I think housing market-wise is an interesting one. I think we're gonna see a fall in property prices. I'd be surprised if we don't. But I don't think it's going to be a major kind of crash. I don't necessarily think it's going to cause a dramatic downturn in activity. I think if anything, we might see a real flurry just from the perspective of simple supply and demand. We still haven't got enough housing in the UK really, and I think if the market falls, that could open up the opportunity for a lot of first-time buyers that have been perhaps sat there waiting to buy. To come in and with cash and maybe bigger deposits than they would have had there been had there not been a fall. So I think the market that we will see is there will be a recovery. I think the key thing will be how lenders react to it, and I think as long as lenders continue to lend with reasonable loan to values on property, then I don't see a reason why the market can't continue really. In a fairly strong vein, but yeah, I think in the short term we will see a small downturn in values.
Final question, last but not least, what's the one thing you haven't been able to do that you're looking forward to being able to do the most once this lockdown period ends?
I think really it's probably the same for most people. Really, it's just back to a bit of normality and spending time with friends and family without the need to socially distance. I think that's going to be the key thing.
I Although I'm sure my wife would quite like to social distance from me. I think she's had enough of seeing me around the house as much as she does. Although we work together, we never normally see each other as much during the day. No, well, thanks very much, Neil. Insightful as always. And if anyone needs to have some solid financial advice, you should bear Neil and his team at Calpe in mind. So thank you.